Welcome everybody to another episode of My Two Cents. This is me, Tony. I'm here to talk to you. Man, I'll try to wait it out because you know the way we got football, basketball going at the same time, I try to just give it a little time so I take in the whole weekend at once and then I come back and I talk to you about a whole bunch of things at one time. First things first, let's talk about Temple, Thursday's football game. No, not Thursday, Saturday's football game. I'm thinking of something else, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Saturday football game. Temple 45-17 win. Great game for the team. Big offensive day. Great outlook. We looked great that particular day. One of the best games we played all year. Now, before I get into the game, I want to get into you. When I say get into you, I need to talk fan to fan because we got a problem. We got a problem, okay? Temple started the game. We kicked off. They ran it back 93 yards for a touchdown. People was booing. People was booing, and I understand your frustration with seeing something like that because if you got a team, you don't want to see them get scored on, especially the first play of the game, especially a 93-yard kickoff. I understand that. But here's something that you might need to understand so then we can go on with being good fans and being good supporters of the university. Now, being that I've coached for a number of years, I've been on the sideline and I've listened to people who did not like the way things went. And they called me everything but a child of God. I understand that. But having that happen to me, I think I need to pass an experience on to you so then you'll be better at watching the game. Now, when you watch a game of a school or young people trying to play a game, this isn't professionals. When you see the professionals make a mistake, it's okay for fans to holler and boo at those professionals because they get paid to do the job. When they don't do a job, you did the job by paying to see it. They should do the job by doing the job. However, when they're professionals and they get paid, then it's okay to boo them. You can boo them. I cannot like Tony Romo. I cannot like Ben Roethlisberger, James Harrison, Palomalo, whoever. I cannot like them. It's okay because I am a fan of a professional sport. But you got to remember when you watching a school play or you watching youth league or whatever, these are somebody's children. This may be somebody's brother, somebody's sister, somebody's son, somebody's daughter. You got to take that under consideration. So when you're sitting in the stands and you start booing, you're booing that person's child or that person's sibling. And this may cause something in the stands that you didn't pay to get, like an ass whooping. Okay? So here's what you might want to consider in the future. Okay? If you don't like the special teams watching U of L, you need to holler, Coach Carter. Coach Carter, fix that. Fix that. And I'm going to tell you why right now, why you need to talk to Coach Carter about fixing that. That kickoff you talking about, that kickoff that you was booing at, all right, here's the problem. Sometimes a coach wants to be buddy-buddy with the players to the point that he lets the buddies do what they want to do. Sometimes you have to understand that I'm the authority and you are not, so you do what I say, not like we want to, okay? But you have to take it with a grain of salt because the movement has been made for this program to allow them to have a little swag, you know what I'm saying? And when I say swag, to smoke before the game, to play the rap before the game. You don't want none of these cards. You don't want none of these cards. And when you do that, you're going to allow personality to come into play. Now, when personality came into play with the kickoff team, this is what I saw. Instead of lining them up, 5 men 5 yards apart on one side, 5 men 5 yards apart on the other side. Kicker kicks down the middle. Everybody runs straight down the field. We have total coverage of the football field within 10 to 12 yards of the player. We all merge to make a tackle. That spreads the blocking out. That makes the coverage better. When you do like they do watching the University of Louisville kick off, they huddle up in a big bunch and then they break off with 2 little small groups of 5 and the guy kicks off and they run down the field as a bunch. When you run down the field as a bunch, we figure out we just got to hit 2 or 3 guys in the lead of that bunch, and you knock all 5 of them out of the way, and if you do the same thing on the other side, you open up this big old lane. The dude ran right through it, and he ran 93 yards. So don't boo the kid, because we raised kids to do what they told. They did what they were told. You want to boo somebody? Kenny Carter, Coach Kenny Carter, special teams. Dog, we need to talk. Because the punting, all right, but that's okay. We can work with that. You want to argue with the offense, how the offense goes? You need to talk to Mr. Watson, Coach Watson. You know, you want to talk to him about how the line don't block? Borberly is his name. Borberly is his name. Coach Borberly. Make them hit somebody. If you want to talk about the defense, you go talk to Mr. Benford. Mr. Benford, quit putting all them guys in the nickel defense. It's not working. Get up somebody, gets hit somebody. Because I got a personal problem with Mr. Benford because he's running a defense that don't believe in hitting people. And I swear to God, that's going to come back sooner or later because you hit people. If you watch Alabama, LSU, if you watch USC, Oregon, if you watch anybody play anybody that's higher ranked than Louisville, they knocking a taste out of each other's mouth. They not grabbing and riding them down. They blasted each other. And that's what's wrong with that defense. If there is something wrong with the defense, they ain't blasting nobody. We get no pressure from the defensive line, and if you want to talk about defensive line, you talk to Coach Hurt. But I'm going to tell you right now, Coach Hurt is a big boy. He a big boy. He about 6'5" and about 3 something. So if you're going to go talk to him, I would at least say Mr. Hurt and talk from a distance, okay? Because otherwise he might crush you. All right, but that's all right. Coaches, fans, address the coaches. Don't address the players. Don't boo their actions. Talk to that man that's making them do that stuff. That's the way to go as fans. That way we constantly cheering for the good things they do, and the bad things we do, we go back to the responsible party, the coaching staff, okay? Having said that, they had a ball Saturday. They kicked Temple all up and down the field. That was probably the most complete game we've seen them play all season long. Not quite 60 minutes, but it was the best effort they had, and it should have been good enough to have some highlights on ESPN, because that's the next thing I want to talk to you about is people complain, why don't we get no recognition? Why don't we get no recognition? Why ain't we on ESPN? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, because I told you a few weeks ago, we a finesse squad. Finesse teams don't scare people. Okay? What scared people? Slobber knockers, snot knockers. Them people that come there, I'm scared of Louisville defense because they hurt people. I'm scared of Louisville offense, they run over people. We don't have that kind of reputation. So when you don't have that reputation, you don't get the recognition. All right? There's teams below us that get more respect than Louisville. Why? Well, you know, you can talk about the schedule, and we we just play the schedule. But what you got to do is you got to flat ass Mike Tyson every one of them. Bam, 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 boom on the floor, real quick, like if you want to get some recognition. But if you let them hang around and hang around and hang around, Mr. Benford. If you let them hang around and hang around and hang around, take for example that Friday night game in Cincinnati. We took the lead with 1minute and 50-something seconds left, and I swear to God, 50 seconds later, it was tied again. So you know, you got to do better than that. If you want to get highlights on ESPN, you have got to pace people every week. Got 3 games left. Syracuse, UConn, and Rutgers. I suggest you double-digit every one of them. Put them in the ground early, keep them on the ground, because you're going to need them reserves by a bowl game, okay? Because as the bowl game rolls, it's going to be to who's the toughest. And see, this is one thing we got to do. We got to strengthen that up, and we got to pray for one other thing. That's for Notre Dame to lose. Notre Dame has to lose, guys, because a lot of people don't know the BCS formula. I'm really not that good at it, but I do know this. If Notre Dame is in the top 8 of the BCS formula, they automatically qualify to be in the BCS game. So they get if they in top 8, they already qualify for the $15 million home purse. Okay, they already guaranteed that. But the stipulation that involves Louisville is that if they're not in that top 8 when the season ends and the final BCS poll comes out, then if they are ranked higher than, say, the Big East champion, which would be Louisville, should they go ahead and win out, if Louisville is not ranked higher than Notre Dame will get that automatic qualifier and Louisville will not. Now, you can check it. I might be wrong, but I'm almost certain that's how it works because Notre Dame has that clause in the BCS formula. So we need Notre Dame to lose. Pitt almost had them. Southern Cal might get them, but we got to get at least 1 or 2 losses on them to knock them down on that BCS ranking, because if they don't go down, we could go down. That's not a good thing, regardless of being undefeated or not. But that's so much I'm going to talk to you about the Temple game. Now, let's talk about... I gotta go there before I go to basketball. I gotta talk about it. Man, they fired Joker Phillips down at UK. Not like it was anything anybody was surprised at, because, you know, Joker was dead man walking from the day he took the job, okay? And I'm sorry, you know, he's dead man walking since he took the job. And the reason I said dead man walking is because he had to wait 3 years for Rich Brooks to leave. They said you're going to be the coach in